Ranger Mike Carlson was at his wit's end. For weeks, something had been terrorizing the Mount Rainier National Park in Washington state, and it wasn't just the local wildlife. Hikers were going missing, their campsites found abandoned, with tents shredded and food left untouched. The park's reputation was on the line, and Mike knew it was only a matter of time before the authorities shut down the entire area if he couldn't figure out what was happening. The problem was, no one had seen whatever was responsible. Some rangers whispered about a rogue bear, while others talked about something far more sinister lurking in the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest. But the truth was elusive, hidden deep within the rugged terrain of Mount Rainier. Mike had already combed the area twice with no luck. Each time the trail had gone cold, until now. That evening, just as the sun began to sink below the horizon, Mike received a frantic call on the radio. A group of hikers had heard bone-chilling howls near the remote backcountry trails and had bolted back to the main road, leaving everything behind. Mike knew this was his last chance to solve the mystery before the higher-ups intervened. Packing his gear and steeling himself, Mike headed into the wilderness as the sky darkened into an inky black. The deeper he ventured into Mount Rainier's backcountry, the more his gut told him something was off. The usual sounds of the forest, the rustling leaves, the distant calls of birds, had fallen into an uneasy silence, replaced by an oppressive stillness that seemed to smother the life out of the woods. As he climbed higher into the mountainous terrain, snow crunching under his boots, Mike noticed something strange. Massive footprints in the snow, far too large to belong to any known animal, and spaced as if whatever made them walked on two legs. Unease prickled down his spine, but he knew he couldn't turn back now. The park's safety and his job depended on him solving this mystery. Suddenly, the underbrush exploded to his right. Mike swung his flashlight toward the noise, heart pounding, and froze. There, staring back at him from the darkness, were glowing golden eyes. The creature that stepped into the light was like nothing Mike had ever seen. Massive, wolf-like, but standing on two legs, with matted fur and teeth bared in a menacing snarl. The werewolf lunged and Mike's survival instincts kicked in. He fired his rifle, but the shot barely slowed the beast. With adrenaline pumping through his veins, Mike fought back with everything he had. But the creature was relentless, its claws slashing through the air with terrifying speed. Mike knew he was outmatched, but he couldn't afford to die here. Not with Mount Rainier National Park and all those hikers depending on him. His only chance was to reach his Jeep and the silver bullets he kept there, a precaution he'd once thought absurd. He bolted through the trees, the werewolf hot on his heels. The forest blurred around him as he ran, branches whipping against his face. Finally, the faint glow of his Jeep's headlights appeared through the trees, a beacon of hope. With a desperate leap, Mike dived inside, grabbing the silver bullets from the lockbox under the seat just as the werewolf's snarling face filled the window. He fired, and this time, the bullet struck true. The werewolf let out a terrible howl, collapsing into the snow. Mike watched, breathless and shaking, as the creature's body convulsed and shifted, shrinking back into a grotesque semblance of a man. The forest silence returned, but it was no longer the uneasy quiet from before. This time it felt like the woods were finally at peace. Mike leaned back in his seat, every muscle trembling, knowing he had solved the mystery that had been plaguing Mount Rainier. But as he drove away, the memory of the werewolf's eyes stayed with him, a reminder that the Pacific Northwest held secrets even he might never fully understand. Like what you saw? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other spine-chilling videos.